This is the Balancing Act by Security Compass, your guide to going fast while staying safe in today's digital world.
Hello, everybody, and welcome today to our third podcast in the series around CMMC. And once again, we're joined by our panel experts here, Sesh and Harvey. Thank you once again for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Thank you, Altaz.
Great. So let's look forward and start to think about the future of CMMC. We hear a lot about CMMC from a DoD perspective, and I'd like to start with you, Sesh. What are your thoughts on applying CMMC in a commercial context now? Like, what influence do you think it might have?
Yeah, so to me, CMMC is a best practice, right, in terms of the maturity model that needs to be there for cybersecurity. That can be applied anywhere, irrespective of whether it is a federal or a private sector or a commercial sector. So yeah, obviously, the organizations in private sector can adapt this framework, and they can actually like improve their cyber maturity. But the question is like, is Department of Defense can influence or kind of like the way right now the Department of Defense is going after is to ensure that the organizations are actually like getting their cyber security certification done. I think that is something probably like we need to look into it, right? Is it something possible in a commercial sector? Unless otherwise, the federal government is coming up with a regulation where they mandate and say all the companies or say all the public companies need to be at level 3 or level 4 before they go to public, or it could be like depending scenarios, right? So where we can say before they actually go to a public, they need to actually like be at level 2 or level 3, or if, like similar to like SOCs. Like once they're actually like listed on a stock exchange, they always need to actually like make sure that they are actually like meeting a certain level of maturity. This is going to be difficult for the federal government or the Department of Defense to enforce that in a private sector. Right?
Interesting.
So that's the I'll say the key challenge to be in terms of like how this can be applied. But from a best practice perspective, similar to like the private sector is already adapted NIST cybersecurity standards, right? So they already have that in place. And similarly, they also have implemented or adapted ISO 27000. To me, it's very much on the same scale. Like, so they can actually like have CMMC as one of the go-to standards that they can benchmark their cybersecurity maturity. Other thing could be the industry itself could actually like take a lead and then actually like ask the CMMC certifying body to drive that maturity model, right? Similar to PCI. So like it's because PCI is not mandated by government, but it is driven by the industry, right? So the industry has come together and they created the standard, and they are actually like now enforcing that standard on all the commercial companies that actually like handle the cardholder data. So the same way CMMC can be applied in the commercial sector, where the industry can come together. They actually like voluntarily form or ask the CMMC certifying body to start now evaluating all the companies or assessing the companies and certify their cybersecurity matureness.
That's great. And Harvey, do you have your thoughts on this as well?
Oh, I've got a few. I think they haven't fully developed yet. It's going to be fascinating, though, I think, to see where it goes. And thanks, Sesh. Yeah, no, I think that's very, very possible. It's going to be, I think it's going to be interesting to see perhaps some companies will adopt this where maybe they're a smaller company, they haven't adopted CSF yet. They feel some form of this is easier to get into. And I'm also, this is not really part of what we're talking about, but I'm curious. We haven't heard much about RMF, the risk management framework. I'm curious if that is going to be kind of a standard that everyone will use when they do their risk assessment as they go through this. Plus, it's going to be interesting to look and see if it does kind of mirror the PCI DSS standard that they've set up.
Interesting. Yeah, you've both brought up the idea of having an industry-driven approach. For example, like PCI as an example, and we're kind of looking at a similar type of thing to see if maybe there might be potentially something that could come out of this that would kind of take that approach. And it'll be interesting to see if there's any way that the DoD can have some involvement in making the industry more secure. Certainly, they've got a different set of use cases to deal with, but we've seen, for example, in the case of some of the NIST standards, as an example, where we've been able to go in and take the federal space and kind of bring that into use in some of our commercial space, in sort of the initiatives that we're doing in the commercial space as well. So I just wanted to kind of bring this to a land. I wanted to say thank you to both of you once again. I really appreciate your time in talking about the future of CMMC.
And thank you, Altaz, for having us.
Can't get enough of the balancing act? Make sure to check out our website at www.securitycompass.com and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more episodes.